I'm just telling you right now, okay? Just put your manners back in.
What is up? My name is Danny. Welcome to Jones Vibes. Last night, I had the opportunity to go check out Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. And this was easily one of my most anticipated films of the year. You want to know why? Because Mission Impossible is my favorite action franchise of all time. Every single movie, to me at least, is an absolute banger. Like, sometimes I say, like, Mission Impossible 2, for me, is my clear-cut last place, like, bottom of the line, bottom in the rank movie. But, luckily for me, I absolutely love Mission Impossible 2, and what that means is every single movie is great. They continue to elevate, and it's not like every single one gets better. Some of them are better than the others. There's some, like, clear standouts, amazing movies, and then some of them are just very enjoyable. But, regardless, with this maybe being the final one, it doesn't really matter because you're going into it and you just know this is going to be a Mission Impossible film and you're gonna get to see Ethan Hunt do something impossible. If you haven't seen a trailer and you're unfamiliar with what this one's about, the synopsis reads: Ethan Hunt and the IMF team race against time to find the Entity, a rogue artificial intelligence that can destroy mankind. And what are these guys even talking about? Like, I use ChatGPT all the time and it's totally fine, right? AI is totally fine, right? But just initial thoughts, like walking out of the theater, the one thing that kept ringing in my head is this franchise, it never fails. If this is the last Mission Impossible movie, I think the world owes Ethan Hunt a very, very big thank you for the journey that we've been on with the IMF and all of this stuff. But honestly, like, I think if you zoom out and you do have a rank brain kind of like mine, you might find yourself doing that after it because it's not a perfect movie. It's not the best in the series by any means, but it has a third act that is so insane. The stunts that Tom Cruise does in this movie are so absurd that it definitely makes up for any pacing issues or weird flashback issues or anything that you might have had in the first chunk of this movie. But with that being said, there definitely are issues, and all of them, for me at least, came within the first half of the movie, and they're pretty glaring. Like, I think if you're not that big of a fan of the franchise and you don't really know what's going on, or maybe you even like missed the last movie, a lot of the flashbacks in the beginning of this thing might work for you, and you're like, oh yeah, I do remember that guy from Mission Impossible 3. But for me, I'm about as big a fan as they come. Like, I remember everything from all of these movies, and so you don't have to show me every 10 seconds where somebody said something, you know what I mean? And just having that and all of the exposition that they just try to cram in there to set up this final mission, to me it felt like they were treating me, the viewer, to be a little bit dumber than maybe I am, or like just taking us for granted, taking our knowledge for granted, because I saw the last one. Dead Reckoning Part 1, or it's not even Part 1, Dead Reckoning is in the top 2 of my favorites of this franchise, so I absolutely love the last one, and so it's easy to compare. And when you look at this movie and that movie side by side, it kind of felt like a jarring change having that much exposition, because I felt like Dead Reckoning, it just moved. The pace of that movie is phenomenal, and it's so deep and like emotional and powerful, and this one just kind of took a jump backwards, and that's totally fine. Again, you go to these Mission Impossible movies for the absurdity of it all. No matter what, audiences are gonna get what they came for, and that's what I'm talking about with the third act. Like, eventually it does get to that stuff. I'm just a little bit concerned that general audiences, people going to see this, they might be a little bit turned off, almost to the point where by the time you get to the good stuff, maybe they've checked out. But at the same time, it's like, come on, man. Tom Cruise is standing on a plane right now. Like, he's crawling around on a plane that's in the sky. This is wild. This is like history. You can't not appreciate watching greatness like this. The stakes are always getting crazier and crazier. They're absurd. The characters can be absurd, and we're so far into this that I really think people should be used to it. But I also think another easy way in and a great connection for audiences out there watching this movie is always just going to be the team of people surrounding Ethan, and you have the people returning. We have Benji, and then we have like kind of the newcomers to the Dead Reckoning movie. We have Hayley Atwell, Grace, and I just want to take a second to shout her out because Hayley Atwell, she's an actress that's been in a lot of stuff. If you're a Marvel fan, clearly you know her. Like, Peggy is a very prominent character in a lot of our lives, but some people might not know her. She's in these big franchises, and maybe she hasn't been on like the award stage and stuff like that. She hasn't been in some of those award season movies, but when you watch her in these Mission Impossible movies, specifically this one, I think she gives one of the the most heartfelt performances in this thing. She has a monologue towards the middle of this movie that absolutely blew me away, man. Like, she's tearing up, I'm tearing up, we're just having a great time. I think she's a great actress, and I just love to see the light shining on her in this movie like that. But then also you have Pom Klementif. I absolutely love her in this freaking movie. She's so damn badass. And then you have a lot of other characters. I think one of the things that this movie might be lacking, where Dead Reckoning, it was building up the entity, it was building up the AI side of this like villainous thing, and you also had Gabriel in there. With this movie, well, it moves forward with having the entity being the villain, but Gabriel is still around, and he's a highlight of this movie, and I just don't think really as a villain he did enough for me to stand shoulder to shoulder with some of the great performances that we've already seen in this franchise, like Philip Seymour Hoffman, like Solomon Lane, like freaking Henry Cavill, August, that character. Like, I don't know. I just don't think Gabriel was enough to really make me feel the weight of it all. But again, you have the entity and you have all of that AI stuff, and that's crazy. It's kind of a hard thing to connect to. And that leads me to one more thing. I'll probably get back to the cast here in a second, but with the entity and Dead Reckoning, Lorne Balfe, he's the man who's composed quite a few Mission Impossible movies so far. And when you listen to the score for Dead Reckoning, there's something that he does when the entity is on screen, something that happens within the composition where it's so dark and deep, and it kind of hits you in your soul, and you feel the AI, you feel how kind of like low-key weird it is and creepy it is. And in this movie, I was very shocked to see within the opening credits that Lorne Balfe wasn't composing this movie. A couple of members, apparently people that like worked on his team or something like that, like it was passed on to a couple other people, and no offense to them, the score was still a lot of fun, but it wasn't that type of score that we got from Dead Reckoning or Fallout. Like, those scores are so freaking beautiful, and I love Lorne Balfe as a composer. I think he's so talented, and so to have this be the last movie and not have him be a part of it, it's like having Hans Zimmer not score Dark Knight Rises. You know what I mean? Like that, it affected me on a really deep level, and I was like, damn it. And in the highest of highs in this movie, you felt it. Like, it was a little bit underwhelming. But I think we do need to talk about Tom Cruise here for a minute, because I could talk all day about what this movie means, but at the end of the day, I've already said it a million times, this is a Mission Impossible movie. You kind of know what you're gonna get. The set pieces are big and insane, but what Tom Cruise manages to do in the submarine sequence in this movie, it's pure insanity what he's doing underwater. Even if there are multiple takes and he's getting to come up for air and blah, 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 like, people can criticize it all they want, but when you're sitting there in the theater and he's underwater doing all of this stuff, it's stuff that I don't think is appreciated enough in the moment, and people are going to appreciate it like way too late. People aren't appreciating it right now. They're going to appreciate it after the fact, because we're never going to see anything like this again. And I also bring up the airplane sequence that you're going to see in this film. He's literally riding on an airplane. I think a lot of people have probably seen the behind the scenes stuff as well as some of the trailers, but he's on the side of this airplane. He's crawling in and out of the airplane, going from one seat to the next, like jumping onto a different airplane, and all of this was actually done by Tom Cruise. So if you're a young person out there or somebody that's not familiar with Tom Cruise's work and like how he operates, when you watch this movie, realize that he's actually doing all of this stuff. When you watch Dead Reckoning, realize that he actually was on that motorcycle that went off that cliff and he free fall down. Like, people are clenching and crossing their fingers that he doesn't die, because he's putting his life at risk for the sake of the audience. And that's what elevates my star rating of these movies. That's what elevates the experience entirely. A lot of it is kind of when you sit back and you're watching this and you realize what you're watching on screen and you realize what's being done. Tom Cruise, I think I've already said it like 4 times, but he is just the movie star of all movie stars. He is the highest caliber of stars, and he's somebody that is so focused on his craft. He's dedicated his entire life to it. He's not one of those A-list celebrities that you're kind of like, I wonder what they're doing in their personal lives. It's kind of getting weird on the fringes there. He's somebody that very clearly, he just takes this seriously. He loves it. He loves eating popcorn. He loves going and experiencing movies with us as an audience. You know what I mean? Like, he loves engaging with the fandom. It's just a very pure and beautiful thing for the art form, and I hope more people respect him out there and can watch this movie and just understand what they're witnessing, because this truly is history. These Mission Impossible movies are history, and honestly, with the way this one ends, I don't know. It kind of lends itself to like the fact that there could be another one. We'll see. Don't worry about a post-credit scene. You're not going to see anything there. But as for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, yes, the first maybe hour and a half of this movie could have been trimmed down a lot. Yes, there could have been some maybe better character work in here, and I think overall it could have just been a better movie when you compare it to some of the others. But at the same time, it is a Mission Impossible film, and I had an absolute blast, and it's definitely not the worst one in the franchise, so I think you're going to have a lot of fun. Definitely get out and see it. As for my Jones Vibes star rating, I'm giving Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning 4 out of 5 stars, no doubt. But if you've seen the new Mission Impossible, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. Did you enjoy this movie? Did you not enjoy this movie? Have you seen this movie? Are you going to go see this movie? Be sure to let me know all that down below. Also, if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure to hit the like button as well. That greatly helps out my channel and this video. But more than anything, my friends, make sure you keep up the good vibes. I'm going to be seeing you in the next video. Peace!